Hi there, and I'm back again with another topic, and this time I'm focusing on ratio and proportion. So, both these subtopics, ratio and proportion, we can say they are all cousin brothers, basically, and proportion is just the elder cousin brother of ratio, right? So, if I talk of ratio, what is the ratio? What do you mean by ratio? Ratio means a relation between two quantities, okay? So if I say the ratio of apples that John has to Jim has is 2 to 5. So this is the symbol that we use, this double colon, okay, is 2 to 5. Now, when I say 2 to 5, John to Jim has 2 to 5, which means I can say that for every 2 apples of John, Jim has got 5 apples. That does not mean that John has only 2 apples and Jim has only 5 apples. That just means that out of 7 apples, John has got 2 apples, which means John has got 2 over 7 of the total apples. Okay, right? And Jim has got 5 by 7 of the total apples, right? So this is what is the theoretical meaning of ratios. So if you are given that, okay, John and Jim has 2 to 5 ratio, and if they have got a total number of say 28 apples, then how much has John? How much does John has? So we can say John has basically 2/7 of the total. So 2 over why 7? Because 2 plus 5 multiplied by 28, which is 8 apples. Okay. And Jim has 5 over 7 multiplied by 28, which is 20 apples. This is what is meant by ratio. Okay, so ratio basically is a relation that compares two quantities, and there are various ways of writing. So 2 to 1, 1 to 2, or 2 over 1, or 2 to 1. These are all meaning the same thing. So if you say two oranges are here, one blue is here, which means orange and blue are in the ratio of 2 is to 1. Okay. So this is what is meant by ratio. So when I talk of proportion, what do you mean by proportion? When I talk of proportion, proportion means it considers more than one ratio. So two ratios it considers, and equality of two ratios is known as proportion. Okay, equality of two ratios is known as proportion. So in effect, if I say 2 to 3 is same as 4 to 6, so if you multiply 2 by 2 and 3 by 2, you get 4 to 6. So now you are getting two ratios, 2 to 3 and 4 to 6. Notice that these two ratios are equivalent to each other. In other words, I can also say that 2 is to 3 is same as 4 is to 6, or 2, 3, 4, 6 are in proportion. Okay. Now, if these are the four terms in proportion, these are what are known as extremes, and these two terms are what are known as means. Notice here that the product of 2 times 6 is same as product of 3 times 4. So if two ratios are in proportion, then the product of their extremes is same as the product of the means. In other words, I can also say if the product of the extremes is equal to the product of the means, then we can definitely say that they are in proportion to each other. So if 2 into 6 is 3 is equal to 3 multiplied by 4, we can say 2, 3, 4, 6 are in proportion. Okay, so I'm giving you a very simple example. So proportion means basically a statement that equates two ratios. So here we are seeing 2 blue and 2 orange. Here we are seeing 4 orange and 4 blue. So the ratios of blue and orange is basically same in both the cases. So that's why these two figures, the ratios of these two figures are in proportion to each other. So more about that in our next and subsequent lessons. Thank you so much.